anything, but the minutes reflect regular meeting versus special meeting. And it's no big deal as far as I'm concerned, but
Oh, it was a regular meeting. Okay, sorry. Do I have a motion to approve these minutes?
I move we approve them.
second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And our final meeting of the year, our regular meeting, December 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve these minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we go to accounts payable. Are there any questions on accounts payable?
I'll move to approve the payables.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call vote on financial matters.
Okay. Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Motion carried. Accounts payable is approved. Now we go to the pledge of assets.
We have deposits from Bravera Bank for 2021 of $45,085,254.16. They have a pledged amount of $50,597,947, which meets the requirements for pledging. And then Dakota Community Bank, we had deposits of $3,676,596.56. And they have a pledge amount for $5,400,000, which also reaches the pledging requirements. I just need an approval to approve these pledge amounts, and security is for 2020, as of December 31st, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the pledge of its assets.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second on the approving of the pledged assets. For on discussion on here, Karen, so is this for just the year 2021, or is this the pledge that we will do for 2022 also on the investment side?
This is just 2021, dated December 31st, 2021. We
Okay.
have to just approve the year.
Okay. Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Zander? Chair votes aye. Motion carried on the pledge of assets. Sheriff Cory Lee.
Chairman, Commissioners, good morning. That's really loud. Apologize for my sickness voice. All right, the December highlights for the Stark County Sheriff's Department for December 2021. We had 1,238 calls for service. This is up from 1,020 last year. Had 198 traffic stops. This is up from 118 last year. 57 of those stops were in the city of Dickinson. 141 of those stops were in the county and neighboring small towns. 187 public relations stops. This is down from 205 last year. At 8 bar checks, that's down from 14 last year. 8 theft-related calls for service, that's down from 9 last year. 18 K-9 usages. We had 44 agency assists, that's up from 29 last month. If you guys remember, I pointed that out last month, that 29 is a particularly high number for us for agency assists, so obviously 44 is ridiculously high. A lot of those were highway patrol assists, but of course, a good deal of them were the city of Dickinson as well. Responded to 21 accidents, 0 pedestrian, 0 fatality, 2 hit and run, 5 injury, and 14 property. Had 87 total arrests for the month of December. On 12/9, the Dickinson Police Department requested one of our K-9 teams be called from home to respond to their traffic stop. Deputy Klatt and K-9 Jerry Lee responded to that stop from home. The K-9 team was responsibly, the K-9 team's response was ultimately led to the discovery of 30 fentanyl pills and 25 grams of meth amphetamine, so that was a good find. I believe your relative was in on that stop, Karen. Yes, she did a good job. Finally, I'd like to, I don't think I've introduced Deputy Steve Byrne and K-9 Thor yet. They were acquired in our acquisition of the Bellfield Police Department. So if you haven't met them yet, Steve, if you want to bring Thor up here and say hello to everybody, that would be fantastic. If you guys have any questions for Steve, go ahead.
Good.
How are you?
How long have you had him or been working with him?
He just turned 3. We got him as he turned a year, and we went out for 12 weeks of training in Minnesota. And so we've been on the street here for about a year and a half. A whole lot of puppy this guy.
Oh,
Thank you.
welcome to.
Oh,
That must have been a squeak toy.
yeah.
How's it doing? It's
Smell donuts.
Thanks for coming in.
law enforcement.
Okay, we'll move to County Road, Al Heiser.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I kind of feel we had a really successful year in the road department. We got a lot of road graveling done, and all of our projects we had under contract. Nick and Tuck, we just got a couple minor things to finish up on them. So we got them pretty much under control. Hopefully, after the new year comes around, we can get some better idea on funding for bridge projects. I know there's a lot of talk about it, so hopefully after January here sometime, we'll hear from the feds and DOT just actually what we're gonna get. We're kind of ramped up to have some projects hopefully ready to bid. So depending on what we get allocated for our share of it. But other than that, the road department, we're just kind of doing our winter maintenance, working on trucks, fixing brakes and doing all kinds of repairing. And other than that, I really don't have much else to report. Thank you.
I think you did a really good job this year, especially with the conditions of the weather conditions and keeping our county roads, you know.
We hold a lot of water.
Yep.
That's
So,
what you got to do when it don't rain.
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernie.
Part of Al's road discussion was Interstate Engineering giving us an update for the project that they're doing with bridge replacement. Interstate Engineering.
Okay.
Chairperson Arthog, good morning, Commission.
Morning.
Morning.
I apologize, I didn't get my update into the office in time to make it to you guys' packets, but I'll just real quick update you on the design of the 38th Street Southwest Bridge replacement. Engineers created a hydraulic model and will be working on inputting the bridges. The results without the bridge reveal that secondary outlets are critical for floodwaters, even with the secondary box culvert. Velocities through the openings are very high. Scour will be a definite concern for this project that will need to be mitigated with creative erosion control design. Braun Intertech is scheduled to be on site this week to take soil borings. Any questions on the design on that project? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Highland Engineering, Mike?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's currently working on the one design project, a bridge replacement south of Richardson. We're working on the preliminary design, environmental clearance process. It's tentatively approved pending DOT funding. Al alluded to it a little bit. Hopefully within the next months we'll have a better feel on what we're looking at for bridge funds. We're planning on this project being a May or June bid. We have the wetland report finalized, and there is no wetlands on the project, and also the cultural resources. There's no effect on the existing bridge, so it helps in costs not having to mitigate any type of wetlands or the bridge structure itself. So that's some good news. So other than that, the project is pinning the cost is right around $400,000 for the job. So that's all I have. Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, Mike, have you put together numbers on this project? Preliminary numbers?
The cost?
Yeah.
Cost numbers, yeah, it's about right around 400 to 425.
Okay.
The box culverts aren't getting any cheaper, so we're watching those prices for sure, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Northern Plains, Jeremy Wood.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Eric, filling in for Jeremy. Just to start off with our construction projects, kind of at a late construction season this year on a couple of projects, but the 30th Street Bridge replacement project, that's complete, and we're just working through the final documents right now with the DOT. The 127th and 131st bridge replacements, they were actually completed here a few weeks ago. Besides for this general cleanup and the additional erosion control that we'll be doing in the spring. So they didn't, because of the cold weather, they didn't seed it, but they were able to mulch it. So we'll be seeding it and doing some additional erosion control come spring. So as far as the design projects go, the 83rd and 86th Avenue bridge replacement south of Richardson, that is set. The plans are done and set for a February 11th bid opening at the DOT. 38th Street Bridge, what we're calling the Sattler Bridge, southwest of Richardson. That'll be bid at you guys' regular meeting on February 1st. Plans are done, and it should be advertised for that letting. We don't have much to update on the BRZ project, the 131st, south of Bellfield, and there's another 131st northwest of Bellfield. We're gonna work with Al, like Al mentioned, on the House Bill 1505 funds, to try to get those funded. So I guess to back up to that 127th and 131st, there's an archaeological issue on the 131st there. So any questions? Okay, thank you.
So I do guess, so this archaeological issue,
I guess it's hard for me to see too sometimes.
Did you get a report? You're gonna get a report from them then?
Yep. Right now, we're just dealing with the state archaeologist. Hard for me to spit out, yeah. And we're dealing with Beaver Creek Archaeology doing it. So there's just some hiccups. It's a big area of probably Flint is what we're thinking it is. So it's just a matter of what the state will allow us to do. So we've been through some different scenarios with being able to just build the road or put the bridge where it's already been disturbed, but that's not really practical either. So we're just kind of on hold right now, so.
I guess once you get that report, maybe not for the whole commission, but out of my curiosity, I'd like to know what it says.
Sure.
I
Yep.
would too.
Yeah, we can work with Al on that, so.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Now we move, excuse me, now we move on to the Voices Redistricting System Update. Ms. Richard?
So as the commission knows, the legislative districts significantly changed this coming year, and we went from having 36 and 37 to having 36, 37, and 39. Our original districting system that is set up in Voices for people when they vote under their addressing was currently and was designed under township sections and ranges. With the change, it is now on census blocks. So what that means for us is basically every single address in our Voices voting system for people knowing which district they are in has to be touched and moved. It's quite a significant undertaking, and I did not have the time or the staff it'll probably take a solid month of 40 hours a week of somebody to work on that. So our options were, I needed somebody that understood GIS mapping and addressing. So we were either gonna have to contract it out and try to find somebody, or Shauna Davenport's department over at Emergency Management, Jolynn Bliss and Nikita, and Jolynn very much understands the addressing system. We're willing to do this change, but it's going to take a lot of hours and a lot of time, and it would have cost the county a lot more money if we had to contract it out. And what I'm asking for the commission is because it's not in their job description, this is above and beyond, to compensate Nikita and Jolynn something for doing all of this extra addressing work that would have potentially have cost us $10,000 to contract out because of the amount of time.
Okay.
And what I was looking for was to, compensate them an extra maybe $1,500 a piece and take it out of the 2022 election budget. And that way they are taking the time to do it, but at least, we're grateful that they're willing.
Okay. Is there anybody else in the county that works with the GIS also that would be able to help?
Not that has the time right now. We do have, our tax director works with the GIS stuff also, but it's more of a time frame of they are kind of slower in emergency management right now, and they're
Okay.
able to take it on.
Okay.
Excuse me, is there a deadline to get this done?
Tomorrow. The state wants it obviously done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with all the holdups, they didn't even approve the legislative maps, until December. And we're in the same boat as Burleigh County and Cass County right now, except for they have entire, an election department to deal with it, whereas, I'm our election department. And so I'm just, looking to show the appreciation with that, I guess, that they're willing to do it.
I would offer a motion to provide that compensation as explained by the auditor's department. Karen?
I would second that.
So would you repeat what you explained for the motion so it's valid?
The motion would just be to approve $1,500 for both Jolynn and Nikita for taking on this project, and it would come from my 2022 election budget.
Okay. Thank you.
Correct. That was my motion.
Perfect.
Okay, Commissioner Zander,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Can I just ask a
And I,
question, just to make sure we don't get into any legal issues? If they're working above their 40 hours, are they getting this bonus plus overtime, or is this $1,500 in lieu of any overtime?
As far as I know, they are going to be working on it on regular time.
Okay.
But I do have room, if they do get overtime, I do have room for that in my election budget for some overtime too.
I just want to make sure that that's clear, because they're not salaried employees, so if they're working overtime to meet a deadline, that the $1,500 isn't being considered that overtime payment. This is essentially,
Right, this would be separate.
okay.
Unless,
As I understood it, it was a 1,500 flat amount consideration reimbursement for the extra effort.
yes.
I would stipulate that no overtime hours would be warranted.
Ms. Davenport, do you think that's going to be something you can work with within your department?
yeah.
Shauna Davenport, Director of Emergency Services. So I think we can work with that. Jolynn obviously is the one I'm most concerned with. I know Nikita, her schedule's a little lighter. Jolynn obviously has a heavier, she's still doing all of her 911 addressing with parcels and things like that. So if we're not gonna do any overtime, then you just need to understand that at 5 o'clock, they're gonna be done. And you're gonna have to wait for this project to get done when it's done, based on their workload, plus when they're done with the project.
Right.
Is what it is.
If there's some issue where it requires more work or more expense or whatever, then we have another meeting in February.
Yeah, that sounds good. You know,
I just
they're
don't want
gonna
there to be any
obviously,
surprises down the road. so-
right,
Yeah.
right. You know, they're gonna work on it as much
And
as they
I-
can, but we just need to be realistic that they have other jobs as well.
Yes,
That
they're doing
they're-
their job
right.
plus this, yes.
Yeah, we're slow, but they're not working, so.
Thank you to State's Attorney Engelstad for bringing that up, because it has surfaced in the past and it was overlooked, and it does, it caused some hard feelings, I believe. So, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Is this payable now or when the project's?
When it's done.
I would say completion.
When it's done?
I would say completion, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Everybody vote on that? Was there a,
We haven't voted yet,
okay.
I don't think. Did we?
Yeah? Yes, we voted.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure, Cal J, oh, he left, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, state and distribution, Ms. Richard?
So the state aid distribution, I contacted Morton County just to kind of get an idea of what they've done in the past with the state aid distribution payments. And I also looked at Century Code to see what was kind of required of the counties with the state aid distribution. And what I have for you on the sheet presented is on the left-hand side is an example, because obviously state aid distribution changes every month. So for the month of November last year, that amount 149,275.73 is what was received. And then that was dispersed between the general and basically all this whole list here. And those bottom ones also. And what I discussed with Morton County was, is this something that I know it hasn't been really changed. And I said, is this something that, is required, like where that is required, that it goes to those accounts and those percentages. And she said no, that the commission is allowed to change the state aid distribution yearly. It just hadn't ever really been changed. And so I did a proposed state aid distribution percentage, and what I did that based on was kind of more need, which departments needed it. Because if you look in the monthly distribution from November of last year, we had state aid distribution going to certain lines that didn't need any more funding at that time. It just had always went there. And so my proposed for this year, and then it can change yearly, is what I was thinking, probably around budget time, is that we change over to the proposed side and just kind of more give it to the departments or areas that were needing state aid distribution this year, and not just adding to the current bank that they already had. So the biggest one that I have on here with County Road is with our the amount of money received for County Road under oil and gas revenue. Basically, it's no longer distributed to County Road like it was because we're under that threshold. And so the reason why I put a higher percentage in County Road is to kind of compensate for them not having that oil and gas revenue guaranteed to them like they had in the past. That just changed this year where we fell under the threshold of 2 million. So I was open to the commission having any ideas on this. This was just looking at the budgets and looking at the areas that needed help, what I think would suffice for 2022 if based on what you have.
I believe that vector control relies on us every year. I mean, they have a very, very tight budget.
Vector control, I looked at their budget, and based on this coming year, they did not have it listed as a revenue because it changes every month. And we already, we started levying tax dollars for them again this year.
Okay.
So this is also, could be modified at any point during the year.
Yes, it could be. It's just that we get payments every single month, and so I kind of would like this to be a yearly thing if need be.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but 6 months from now, if one of the line items had a need for us to bump it up and reduce one of the other ones, we're certainly capable of doing that. We're not tied to this for 12 months, correct?
You're not tied to this, no.
Right.
It just had never really been updated.
The comp health that is so big on there, so that will be taken off.
Yes, we already have balances in some of these general accounts. For example, comp health and Social Security. Like, we already have balances in some of those accounts from previous years.
Okay.
And so just this year, we wouldn't necessarily need it in there for this year.
Okay. Any more questions on this?
Is this information, or are we taking action? Just
I would
do
need
we
it.
need to adopt this?
I would need a motion to adopt the proposed percentage changes for the 2022.
All right. I'll make the motion to adopt the state aid distribution payments as proposed.
I'll second. I didn't know you were done with your sentence.
Okay. Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Commission.
We're way ahead schedule.
You could do some of the added ones if you wanted. Since we're so far ahead.
we can bring up, we'll jump down to the bottom to the Bellfield Sewer Department.
Okay, well, Dick was impressed the other day, Bellfield Sewer's having some issues, and I don't think they have the money to do it. Last year, I think at my first or second meeting, I brought up that all these little communities have some issues, and we were, we had all this supposedly extra money or whatever. And I was told there's projects, there's programs to help all these people out, like the road in Richardson and infrastructure in these little communities. Well, I don't know where these programs are, but we need to help these little communities. I mean, every one of them's got some sort of an issue, and when we're wanting to figure out how to give money back to the people, I think if we would have designated money back to these communities of maybe $500,000 per community, instead of reducing our mills, we would have given more money back and a bigger visibility of our helping our residents than we did by dropping the tax mills. So I don't know, what can we do to help, let's just say Bellfield, for instance? I mean,
I need to meet with Mr. Prosov. He did email me about the sewer problem and was asking for help. On the COVID money, Ms. Richard, is that, on the COVID money we have, we have coming, does that qualify?
Yes, it would qualify. The Bellfield issue would definitely qualify for the 2022 COVID money, ARPA COVID money coming.
Okay. I agree with you, Commissioner Marsh. I mean, we should be helping our small communities.
so, like, I guess, but once you meet with them, we'll have an idea of what they need for help, and we'll know what kind of monies that we could be using, but I think, yeah, we gotta step up and start working with our small communities.
I can meet with Mr. Prosov this month and bring it to the February meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, to address your initial comment there, Bernie, is that I do have conversations with the mayor of Taylor and the mayor of Richardson, which is in my district, so
Good.
I'm not saying that there's not needs and wants out in that direction, but
Well, I think Richardson, should be doing something for their roads in the city. I mean, those roads are notorious.
I'm sure that any of them would appreciate anything we can do for them, so.
I'm pretty sure, Al, did we not just make a contribution to the Richardson for some of their road projects that they had downtown?
In the past, if they brought special projects, you remember back, Gladstone was here.
Right.
Oh,
You know, we helped them. I know there was some streets in Bellfield we helped pave on the east side of town, or west side of town. Richardson had a project through town, and I help them with gravel and different things that they don't have the resources to get. So, you know, I help them whatever we can. When it comes to large amounts of money, they have to come here. But, you know, some of these small things, I just kind of help them out on the side.
Okay.
That's great, thank you.
Hell, didn't we have some around the school too at Richardson too, and to help their street?
Right, that street, that pavement around from the county shop, from Highway 10 around the loop there. Just Radar Road. And then we helped, funded their trail, their walking path through there too, so.
All right. Thank you.
You know, good points that brought up, and maybe what we need to do is start tracking those,
Road projects.
those little projects and things that we are doing to help out small communities, including their fire departments, their ambulance services, streets, roads, because we do help out the communities on a pretty regular basis, and I know they're very appreciative of it, but it sometimes, you know, we kind of memory lapses, especially me, on some of those goodwill things that Mr. Heiser referenced, where, you know, we really don't track it in any manner, especially if it's goodwill versus cash. So just be kind of a nice way to keep tabs, I think, if we would just start, you know, trying to keep some kind of a running account.
For each small town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we could definitely track and at least put all of 2021's in there to start it.
That'd be good, thank you.
I think maybe, coming from your office at the direction of the commission, that department heads try to keep that information current and forward it to, your office for permanent record keeping, something to that effect.
We do not need a motion for that, do we? Just, okay. Okay, also, when bring up the, with Commissioner Marsh, the attendance.
Well, Neil says he visits with the mayors in Richardson and Taylor. For my own, I would still like to have a list of when the commissions meet in the different cities, because maybe sometime I just want to run out, and sit in a meeting or two and visit, know who's on their boards.
Okay.
One thing I could do, Commissioner Marsh, is I can just, email the city auditors and ask for their, agenda. We do get their agenda lists, but then you would know when the meetings are.
Excuse me, I have all that information as well, if you want. We attend all those meetings.
Would it be helpful to get the minutes from their meetings? Everything's electronic now, so it's not like it's.
Well, we're not gonna go through their minutes at each of our
Well,
meetings, but it would be helpful if we just had a copy of them someplace, I guess.
I know that the small cities do, post their minutes on their website, and they are printed in the paper too. I guess I just don't really have them all accumulated
That's fine.
together.
I guess I would just like to know when the meetings are, if I wanna go, regularly attend some of the
Chairman?
meetings.
Yes.
We also, we're currently working on the design of the website, a redesign. We can incorporate that into the calendar also, so that
Okay.
you have that on the meetings page, so
Oh, that would be
that would be
great.
helpful.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we can go to the, Ms. Ingolstead brought forward the joint powers agreement between Billings County and the Stark County regarding the Bellfield ambulance service.
I went out to Medora and worked with Pat Weir on that right before Christmas. Just needs your.
Can you move your mic up, please?
Sure. I went out to Medora and met with Attorney Pat Weir right before Christmas, and we put this together for your and Billings County's commission approval. Just kind of lays out why it needs to be done and the financials of it.
Is this something that gets renewed every year then?
It will automatically renew. The way that the JPA reads, because Billings County would bill us a year behind, is that if Stark County wants to end its relationship with Billings County, Billings County is going to need to know by June 1st of the first year, so that they aren't getting into a situation down the road where they are, counting on that revenue and then they're scrambling. So.
Okay, I see that. Did all commissioners get enough time to look this over?
So we're just looking for a motion to authorize the chairman to execute the JPA.
Correct, and once that's signed, then I will send it back over to Billings County for them to sign at their commission meeting.
So I would move that we authorize the chairman to execute the joint powers agreement between Billings County and Stark County regarding the Bellfield ambulance service.
I'll second that.
Okay, there was a motion and a second. All in favor, well, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Messer,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek,
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried.
Do the radar service contract.
Sure. We can go to the radar service contract. Ms. Davenport?
Commissioners, it should be at the end of your packets if you're looking for it.
Chairman and Commissioners, this, Shauna Davenport, this contract is the yearly contract to renew, just our portion of the fees that are required to upkeep the radar at Bowman Radar, weather radar. It's $4,000 fee. It has been that fee, I believe, for at least the last 10 years. Along with Bowman, Slope, Golden Valley, Billings, Dunn, and then Harding, South Dakota, and Fallon, Montana also participate in that. So this is just so that they provide weather data, a technician to services to equip that office and a backup generator for all of that. So there's no other changes with the contract. It's the same every year. And the state's attorney has looked it over as well.
Any questions by the board? If not, I'd look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the radar service contract for,
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Franchek?
aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you, Shauna. We did this, right? We did that.
No, we haven't done that yet. Well, the park board isn't for.
We'll go on to the 2022 budget adjustment request by Ms. Richard.
So basically what happened is the line item that was used in the 2021 adopted budget for the salary office special in the auditor department was the previous county employee. And when this county employee moved departments from emergency management over to the auditor's office, they provided her with the same wage that she was getting over at emergency management. So with that being said, and I did the $1 an hour raise based on the previous adopted budget line item. And so if we went with that amount that was adopted, it's actually not $1 an hour for that employee. It is only 66 cents. And what I'm just asking to make it fair to that employee, since all of our other employees got the $1 an hour, is to just adjust that line item to the full $1 an hour raise, which comes to $768.87 to give her the full $1 an hour instead of 66 cents.
I would make that motion that we keep her wage in line with the rest of her, raise in line with the rest of us.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Thank you. Do you want to do planning and zoning since I think that person's here?
Yes, we can move on to the planning and zoning. Is Mr. Josephson not here? Oh, he's back there.
Good morning, Commissioner. Steve Josephson, County Planner.
Morning.
Good morning. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a meeting on December 21st, 2021. There were 2 items that they made recommendations to the County Commission on. The first one was a request for a conditional use permit from Foremost Well Services. They were requesting a conditional use permit for storage of explosives associated with a wireline service and is located at 1110430 J Street Southwest. Both the commission and staff recommended approval subject to conditions, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
So this is the third request in that subdivision in the last 6 months to approve for
Yeah,
explosives.
that's right. However, Foremost received this previously.
Oh, they just moved
And
to
they're
the-
moving, so what'll happen is the old one will expire. You know, it will expire a year from when it was granted. And then this applies, apparently they moved to a different location within that subdivision.
Right.
Do I need a motion for approval?
Make a motion to approve CUP 0521 for Foremost Well Service LLC for conditional use permit.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Thank you. The second item is, there was a public hearing for a variance. Heidi Hewitt Home and Joshua Home requested a variance to the minimum side yard building setback for an accessory structure. The property is located at 4123 111J Avenue Southwest in the Pines subdivision. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommended approval of the variance subject to conditions. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
So is the variance of 12 feet or to 12 feet?
It's of 12 feet.
So it's down to a
So they'll
3
be
foot.
within 3 feet
feet of the
of
side
the
yard.
adjacent property line.
Got it.
And it will only apply to this structure.
I'll make a motion to approve VAR 01-21 for the homes requesting the side setback.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Thank you very much. I'll notify the applicants this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We can move on to the policy handbook. Joetta Pearson.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joetta Piercy, HR Director. I have quite a few policies, so hopefully this won't take too long. And Shauna will come up after I'm done and talk about IT policies that we've done. The first one I wanted to do was the Family Medical Leave Act. This is not new. This is in our employee handbook already. I just put it into a policy format, and it's a federal law that provides our employees 12 work weeks of leave in a 12-month period. And it does not have to be paid either. So it's fairly straightforward in there.
Do we have to vote on each of these separately, or do we vote all?
I'd say separate.
Separate?
So on this, they are allowed to take off 12 weeks, but that is not all paid?
Correct. If they don't have enough sick time or vacation time to cover that 12 weeks, they can go unpaid.
Okay.
Just, excuse me, just for clarifications, this policy follows federal and state regulation rules and so forth.
Correct. Mhm.
I would offer motion to adopt the policy regarding, as presented today.
Okay.
You want to identify it as family medical leave?
For family medical leave?
Family medical leave, sure. Okay.
We have a motion to approve the new policy and procedure or updated for Family Medical Leave Act. Do I have a second?
Sure. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Roll call, Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Okay, thank you. The next policy is the sick leave donation policy. This one is not new either. We already have this in our handbook. It just expands on how we administer the policy. And the one change that I made was that the old policy allowed for use of this for 4 months, and I just limited it to the hours or the 12 weeks that you can take, under the FMLA policy.
So can you explain that, Ms.
400,
Piercy?
yeah, that's number 4 under the guidelines.
Yes.
Though the receiving employee must have used up all forms of paid leave prior to using donated leave. The employee's use of donated leave may not exceed 480 hours in any 12-month period. So in other words, let's say they have absolutely no leave left, they can't receive more than 480 hours from the other employees.
So they have to give up their vacation time also before they can get this?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that on the federal guidelines or anything on that,
This
or is that
isn't,
just our county policy that?
Yeah, this is not required by law, any of this is. This is our own policy.
I guess I could see if they used up all their sick, but if someone is willing to donate due to the circumstances of what it is, so they don't also have to use all their vacation.
And that was in this policy before, that they had to use all of their own time before they could accept time from somebody else, just for the fairness of it, because it's not fair if somebody says, oh, I want to keep 40 hours of vacation, but I'll take 40 hours from you. And someone else, isn't, I'll use up all my time if you, and they request a donation from employees. It just makes it more fair for them to have a rule that they have to use all of their own time before they can ask for time from other employees.
Okay.
But that's all voluntary, right?
Yes, this is a voluntary program, completely.
If someone still has 40 hours of vacation and someone voluntarily wants to donate their sick leave, why is that not fair?
I guess it's not fair to the people that use their own sick leave.
I just guess I just know of a circumstance from before that someone was sick and a family member was sick, and I mean, they might know 3 months from now that they have to have surgery or they have to do something, and then they use everything up, and they don't then in 3 months get any donated time. On the.
Just a quick comment. As I understand the program, it's pretty much universally accepted, how it's presented here by private industry. And, I know that, some people abuse their sick leave, some people abuse their vacation hours and burn it up. And, and I'm not singling out anybody, but, there's always that Monday morning illness or Friday afternoon illness, or and it comes down to what's fair. And I think you clarified that very well.
Okay.
I mean, this is all on a donation basis, so is it fair if one person is sick and 8 employees come up and say, yes, I will donate my time, here you go, and then another person has no individuals that will donate any time?
No, and that's why these policies are difficult. A lot of places don't have sick leave donation because of the issues that everyone is talking about right now.
Well, and that's my point, I guess, if we're just talking about fair, there's no way you're gonna make it uniform fair, so.
No, but it is easier to go out and ask people for them to donate their time if you have already used all of yours, and it's just a flat policy across the board that everybody has to do that. So then it doesn't leave room for people to say, or those people that take advantage of, using their sick leave or their vacation all the time and they don't manage it well, for them to say, oh, I want to save 40 hours for a trip here, but yet I want you all to donate time to me.
But ultimately, isn't that on the person who's donating? Nobody has to donate. So I think that can be, the person who's been asked or thinking about donate has the right to say, look, I'm sorry, you still have vacation time, no. Or, look, I understand you've had a really rough year, maybe you have cancer and you deserve a vacation somewhere down the road. So under this circumstance, I am willing to donate to you.
And we usually don't give employees all of that information. We just send out an email that requests them to donate. And right now, they know that that employee has already used up all their time, and that's why this request is going out.
I think that's fair, but I think we all know as well that just because a request comes through the Stark County email doesn't mean that the specifics of what's going on haven't already traveled through the Stark County, grapevine. I would be hard pressed to believe that anyone that's asking for a donation of sick time hasn't probably already approached an employee and said, look, how do you feel about this? This is what I'm going through. This is how I'm looking medically wise down the road. Maybe not, but I mean, I know when I've been sick, everyone certainly knew about that. So I just find that hard to believe, I guess. But again, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Get back to the purpose of this whole policy is so a worker doesn't go in and put unpaid. I mean, that's the purpose is for this.
Correct.
So if they're holding back things, I mean, that's not really what the purpose of this policy is.
Chairman, Commissioners, if I may, and to kind of expand on Commissioner Zander's point, the city of Dickinson has done this for years. The way Joetta's proposing it, I've seen it be very successful. I wish I could talk today. And I've never seen us have any issues with the city in doing it this way. And I think it's fair. I think it's never been abused the way she's proposing it. And like I said, I'm just going off the example that I saw for 14 years.
Well, and we could always approve this, and if we see that changes need to be made in the future, we can always amend or adjust it or do something with it, correct?
Correct.
Madam Chairman, I'll move that we adopt the sick leave donation policy as presented.
I'll second.
For discussion purposes, do these go out to all the employees before it comes to the meeting today so everybody gets to look at them?
No, they go before the department heads and elected officials usually. They
Okay.
review them.
Okay, thank
We
you.
get input from them.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Okay, the next policy is called the Systems User Policy, and this replaced the Electronic Tools Policy that was in the handbook. It basically covers all the use of our business and telephone equipment, computer, telephone, email, and internet access. There isn't anything new in this policy either. It was just put into a format, and you'll see the policy handbook. The name was changed to Information Systems Technology. We kept Section 1, Systems User Policy, instead of the Electronic Tools Policy. And then I left the cellular phones in there because that is the only place that it talks about how we reimburse employees for that. And physical security, we have not written an IT policy on that yet, so I left that in the handbook there. And the social media policy. That is still in the handbook too.
What did you name this policy now?
Systems user policy.
Systems user policy.
So before anybody gets access to our, any electronic equipment or tools, they have to sign off on this policy
Okay.
and agree.
I would offer the motion to accept the policy for the systems user policy as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, Commissioner Zander,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Okay, and the last thing before Shauna comes up is we have been vetting some different mission, vision, values at our department head elected official meetings. And we've came up with what we voted on as the top vote getters, and that is in your packet there. I kind of put together the mission that was voted on. Is very simple. Typically, a mission statement is something people can memorize. So it's quality services and community leadership. The vision that was voted on was Stark County puts its people first by ensuring our communities are safe and healthy places to live and work. We promote sustainable development, active lifestyles, and our accessible location on the western edge. And our goal is to bring together people, partnerships, and possibilities for a strong and vibrant Stark County. For our values, we kind of played off of words. They spell star. And so our hope is that we can have a recognition program that's attached to this. And so if people live our values and they exhibit one of the values of service, trustworthiness, accountability, or respect, they can be recognized by their coworkers, managers, commissioners, anyone for those living those values. So I guess you guys have had a chance to review it. If you have any comments, or if we can, if you want us to go back and look at this some more, we can, or change anything, or you can approve it, I guess. We would include this on our website, in our handbook, in our recruitment.
You did a great job on this. I like this. Anybody have any questions on this? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve, what is our mission statement, our vision statement, and our goal statement? Is that what we're doing here, or? I guess that's my motion then.
I'll second.
Motion is second on our mission, vision, and goals. Roll call vote, Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander. Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Hello again. Okay, so I have 3 policies for you to look at. These are, all have gone through our IT committee and have been approved by all of us. The first one, if you want to look at, would be the information system services. This one just explains basically what can be expected by employees in Stark County for getting anything done by Consolidated, our current IT provider, and receiving services if there are any issues with their equipment, getting their equipment set up initially if there's a new piece of equipment purchased, any hardware support, and then there's also a small section on repair and replacement because we do have a separate policy on that. Do you have any questions for me on that policy? Okay. So if we want, do you want me to go through all 3, or do you want to approve them separately, like you did with Joetta?
I would say separately.
Okay, so if you want to.
So is this a brand new?
Yep,
This is
these are
totally-
all 3 brand new. We didn't have any IT policies other than that user policy that she just went through, which was really the only one that was in the handbook.
Okay. And these policies went through,
Meetings, yeah.
the meetings and consolidated.
Yep.
Okay.
Consolidated looked at all these as well.
I'm looking for a motion for the first one on the First Stark County policies and procedures for the information systems services.
I'll make a motion that we approve the system user policy as presented.
I thought we were on the information
Oh, wait,
system.
Yeah,
that's
sorry,
the wrong
information
one in
systems.
front of me here. Yeah, whatever you just said is what I,
Your
Okay,
motion to
Mr. Marsh
approve.
made the motion on to approve the information system services policy.
right.
I like how you read.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Approved in second. Call for the vote. Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye, motion carried.
Thank you. Next one we can go to is the information technology, IT equipment and software replacement schedule. This policy just goes through how we will replace hardware as it ages. Currently, we have it on a replacement schedule of 4 years, replacing hopefully by 4. We don't want it to get older than 5 years as that poses a potential security risk. So the guidelines are just put in there for desktop, laptop replacement, server replacements, and any other software maintenance. And then if you have any questions for me on that one, I can answer.
I know some of the iPads are, older than 4 to 5 years, but those aren't quite as a security issue, are they?
They're connected to our network if they're here, so I would say that we do need to look at those. We should have consolidated look at those as well, depending on their age limit. So
Okay.
that's something we should definitely talk
Okay.
about.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do this one off the paper in front of me.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the information technology, equipment and software replacement policy for the IT department.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been approved in second. Call for the vote. Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye, motion carried.
Okay. And the last policy that I have would be the information technology, equipment and software purchase policy. This would be purchasing, more than likely your desktop computers, anything 2,500 and above is what we've put on here. And that would be coming out of the IT budget. This does not include anything that you would perhaps put in your own office budget in your own department. So it goes usually through our IT committee. We discuss it there. There's a form where we approve it, and then it goes on to the auditor's office. And then the department themselves are responsible for inventorying that equipment, and then obviously getting that to the auditor's office when it is time for our annual inventory. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you for putting these together. They were definitely needed.
You're welcome.
Can I get a motion on the approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the information technology, equipment and software purchase policy.
Second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote. Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Just
Oh.
one real quick question. I don't know that it's policy, but for informational purposes, when you talk about laptops and those kind of things, who controls and monitors who gets a laptop, who doesn't?
So when we did a replacement, we are trying now to move most people to laptops just because it makes the most sense for continuity of business for us to be able to work from another location if we needed to. But there are some people that can't work with a laptop because of the type of systems that they're running on them. So we really look at that from our perspective, and then Consolidated just looks at what they're doing in their job. So it just depends, and we discuss that obviously with their department heads, and it's just a collaboration of effort.
Okay, so you have a policy, this individual could get one.
Yeah,
this individual
absolutely.
is-
Yeah.
Is not eligible. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's what my question.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shauna.
Sorry, I didn't know that would take that long. Ms. Heiser, are you okay if we start the park board meeting a few minutes late? Huh? Okay, so then I will call, we'll go on break let's go on break for 10 minutes. So we will be back at 10:35 for the park board meeting. Is that okay? Okay.
But there are things that stick in your mind, like
I thought that
we
was
were not
bullshit.
allowed to say.
Yeah.
We got to make, that's bullshit.
You're right, it is. Huh, well,
And their elected was
Called me
inside.
twice yesterday.
Nope, nope.
Yeah, he called me. I told him, I said, hey, I'll make my decision Tuesday morning at the meeting.
there you go. He never called me, so.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it makes the meeting.
I still think it was the right
If
thing.
you follow them, yeah, that's the
one
thing,
bit-
move them along.
I think it is.
Not one bit regretful and not going to be.
Right.
Right?
When I ran the Heritage
You can't change it,
Foundation
so.
meetings, I was chairman for 2 terms.
But yeah,
I
I mean, Dean did a good job. I'm not saying anything against her.
Yeah,
The
no.
meetings were
Carla,
nobody said
before I
anything.
could Carla meander around.
She's up
and
for
you'd be there
re-election. If she
3
doesn't
hours.
make it, she'd never have that opportunity again.
They liked it.
And she's a leader.
We can make a motion to remove her. too.
Right.
I told her that.
I'd like to call the January meeting of the Stark County Park Board to order. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year to start with.
Happy New Year.
Our first order of agenda is to ratify our agenda. Would I have a motion to entertain that? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The minutes of the last meeting. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
There a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the November meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Lisa's report is next.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you guys as well.
Happy New Year.
Lisa Heiser, County Parks Director. And just kind of a quick update for you. I know we're moving kind of quick today, so I gave you a new list for the events for 2022 that are currently scheduled. So you'll see that, and they're also on the website at starkcountyfair.net. One of the things that I'd like to point out to you is the June 23rd through 26th. That is in the middle of the page, and the carnival is moving out to the fairgrounds. So that'll be the first year that it'll be out there, and so we're looking forward to that. We'll start advertising that pretty heavily, so the public knows, but please pass that on, word of mouth for everybody so that they can know where the carnival will be at this year. So, the other thing is that we're working on, well, I'm working on helping with the taxes in the auditor's office, so trying to help as much as possible with the other offices. And then we're also working on a new website, and so I'm part of that, helping with the website redesign and trying to make it more useful and easier to find things. And so our HR director, Joetta, and Emergency Services Manager with Shauna Davenport, we're all working on that. So you'll see that fairly quickly to kind of get a good glance, and we'd like your feedback. So when you do get that email on that link, please look at it and give us the feedback, whether it makes sense, whether it's ugly, whatever you like. So, and I would at some point like to get pictures of our boards as a group so that we have those for the websites. I know you guys are all laughing, but I'll get your individual pictures too. So we're lacking some of those too. So that'll come later. So other than that, I don't have any updates for you at this point unless you've got some questions for me.
I do.
Sure.
So you're going to have the carnival at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
Where are they going to set up, on the concrete or on the gravel?
They will set up on the gravel. We're going to, initially, that was the discussion last year when we met with Riley out there at the premise. They thought they could be right at the entrance and be on that very far side, and we would they run generators, so there's no need for electricity, but potentially some water for them.
Okay, so then that brings me to my next question.
Sure.
Do we have a master plan to put all-weather surfacing on that gravel portion?
No.
Sequence it?
Nothing
or-
currently.
Yeah, and that's maybe something we should look at.
At some point.
I mean, I know that we're always short of money, but I mean, I drive by it and I think all the time, I think, one of these times, this is gonna be a disaster. We're gonna have 3 inches of rain and we're gonna have a rodeo and parking and it's just gonna, it's pretty good stuff that's in there, but,
It is, and we do get a lot of washing, so that would help.
Yeah.
We've got that box blade that we pull it back up.
and even if we had to do it in a sequence, maybe a third and a third and a third, or a quarter
Sure.
and a quarter and a quarter,
Sure. Phasing
as
it
we
in.
can afford to do it, and decide if we're gonna go asphalt or concrete.
Absolutely.
So Randy, you're saying that if there is 3 inches of rain and you do have a lot of traffic, you'll have to redo it. That's your fear, is like all the work that has been done will be pretty much
Well,
eliminated.
your gravel will still be there, but you'll have to do some maintenance on it, but I mean, for the people that have to park there, they could be walking in mud this deep.
When you
know.
guys can't park on the grass with the
Where-
trailers is what he's talking about.
Got you, I got you. And then where will we park as far as when the carnival's there? You're talking about the
The main entrance is where I'm talking,
south-
right to the south of that.
east side or southwest side of the fairgrounds. So where would everybody park? Just that one parking there?
It'll share the parking, yep, because the parking doesn't fill up. We've got overflow parking as well. That would be the little square pin smack dab in the middle of the facility. We've got that, plus we'll have the ability, if it doesn't rain.
Overflow parking?
On the hill
on
if
the
we
hill,
need to.
okay.
Yep.
Anybody have any other questions for Lisa?
So that overflow parking on the hill, is there gonna be a walkway coming down there then, or?
There right now is a ramp to drive up on. That's where they'll have to come.
Just walk
It's
back?
it's pretty wide.
okay.
Yep, yep. That's right on the left-hand side as you drive in the main entrance.
That existing gravel parking lot will take a lot of water and a lot of rain. I mean, we've had some pretty good rains out there. It doesn't seem to get muddy, but I agree, if you talk about maybe paving part of it, this summer, if the DOT is gonna have a great big paving job right out in our front driveway, maybe we could get a price for them right there and kind of get it ready for
Yeah,
them, and it's something we could sure check out.
Yeah, it's something we should look at. I mean, it's just, you eventually want it to be all weather. I mean, it's,
Yes.
Yeah.
Al, what the stuff that you put on the roads from the gravel from the airport, is that something to look in?
That gravel we got on right now is from the Speedway. You're talking what we put on the road on,
Yeah, on
that we just
44th
ground.
Street?
We just ground asphalt into the existing gravel road.
Yeah, is that something? No. Oh.
anything else for Lisa? Thank you.
So there any, excuse
Sorry.
me, sorry.
Go ahead.
Are there even hardly any weekends open?
Yeah, there's a few.
There's just a few? 'Cause I'm
There's
looking-
always just a few.
Yeah,
I
just
have
a-
people that call quite a bit and wonder, what they have, and I said, get to me right away, because I've
Yep.
got a couple of tentative dates
Okay.
that I haven't booked yet, so.
It's great how filled
Yeah.
up it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're starting to book earlier and earlier, which is nice, but it's
Yep.
because everything is full.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job.
Yes, very good
Yep.
job.
Thank you. I guess we're
Yeah.
done, yeah. So we have no old business, so we'll move on to new business. That's board appointments, and I guess myself and Jason are up for a appointment, and that has to be done by the commissioners. Correct? I guess,
What's an appointment?
well, that's how we got on this board to begin with. The board appointed us.
Okay.
We didn't have to run for election.
Okay.
And I guess I should ask you if you want to be appointed again.
Yes? Sure.
Yeah, and I guess I'm good with that too, so.
Well, I make a motion that we appoint both of you to continue on our
Well,
board.
make a recommendation to the full county commission that we appoint.
Okay, then I'll make a recommendation.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay. So it's been recommended and seconded that we appoint both myself and Jason for another term as board members on the park board. Roll call vote. Ken? I gotta find out who's backing us here. Bernie?
Aye.
Carla?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Do we get to vote for ourselves? No.
Sure.
I'll vote for
I
Randy.
guess,
Yeah.
congratulations, Jason.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Randy.
Thank you. And now we have elections of officers, so I will open the floor for nominations for president of the Stark County Park Board.
I make a motion that we keep Randy as chair of the Stark County Park Board.
I second that.
That's quick.
Yes. I already heard rumors. I'd really like him to stay.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay. Well, any further nominations first? Okay, nominations are closed. All in favor of me remaining as chairman signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Nominations are open for vice president of the Stark County Park Board.
Who's the current vice president?
Byrne is.
Do you want to keep doing that, or should we have Jason step into that role? I will, and no offense, I would make a motion that Jason accept the position of vice chair.
Is there a second?
I will second that if he, just keep nodding.
You
like
wanted
this.
to?
Well, I'm fine with this.
Okay. Okay.
Any further nominations?
What's the responsibilities of the vice president?
We'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carla.
You have to buy the beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You basically have to run the meeting in my absence if I'm not here.
Okay.
So-
You show up pretty often, so that's good.
So, any further nominations? Nominations are closed. All in favor of electing Jason as the vice president of the Stark County Park Board signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Jason.
Can I have that on a condition? I honestly, I need to know how to run meetings. Like, I don't know.
I'll work with you on
Okay.
that a little
All right.
bit.
I don't know anything about a meeting except what you guys have taught me thus far.
Yeah, yeah. We'll go over some things.
Okay.
The tests are brutal, I have to warn you.
But it's open book.
Okay, our next order on the agenda is the Fairgrounds and Events Park lease agreement. And I guess that would be Lisa will present that to us.
All right, your first lease agreement is for the fairgrounds to be leased from the county park board to the Stark County Fair Association. We do this lease and renew it every year. There's no changes other than the dates. Runs from January to the 31st of December.
You are the only participant in this conference.
I'll move to approve and authorize the chair to sign the lease.
I'll second that. Oh,
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the lease for the for the racetrack, correct?
Nope, for the fairgrounds.
For the fairgrounds, okay. Oh, to the park, I'm sorry, yes. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
All opposed, same sign. The lease for the Stark County Park Board is approved.
And the second one is the motor grader that goes to from the park board. Basically, it's the Stark County's motor grader, and it will be
Could,
released to the Rough Rider Motorsports, which we did last year.
Since contracts is all, it's not really a financial thing, but does that
Do
have to be?
you want a roll call vote?
Well, I'm just saying, contracts,
We're just renewing the one we had from last year, though, basically.
and I'm fine with it, just
Yeah.
so that everybody,
If you wanted,
no, that's fine.
Do-
No, you're fine.
we aren't spending money on that one, we're receiving it.
Well, it's just the legal part of the word contract. I
Oh,
know it's,
I see, yeah.
so.
I think I actually put this contract together last
did.
year, and then Lisa and I just decided it'd be easy to save it and change 21 to 2022, because there was really nothing that was gonna change, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote this thing last year, I think it's fine.
Right, and that's the only thing that's changed is the dates. Everything is exactly the way you wrote it.
I just asked a question, that's all.
But point well taken.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, it isn't listed on our agenda, this equipment lease agreement for the Rough Rider Motorsports, but we let them lease a motor grader last year.
Yep, and that's just year to year. We wanted to see how it went for the first year, and it went well. We were able to use it when we needed it, and they used it for their events, and I think it worked out really well for the partnership.
So the chair would entertain a motion to sign a new lease agreement for that 140H motor grader to the Rough Rider Motorsports.
Just one real quick question. Maintenance, repairs, is that in here?
That is, yep.
Okay.
That is on, oops, where is it here?
Okay, if it's in there, that's fine.
Okay,
I'll get
yep.
to it.
And who do we lease it from?
The county owns it, and we
Okay.
lease it to the Rough Rider Motorsports.
All right.
Yep.
I'll make that motion to extend this lease agreement from the Stark County Park Board to the Rough Rider Motorsports.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the lease to Rough Rider Motorsports of the 140H motor grader. Is there any further discussion?
I got a quick question. So the park board owns the motor grader?
No.
The road department owns the motor grader, Stark County.
Oh, I guess, what's
Okay,
our
Jason, here's
relationship
how this
with-
thing works, is they use it when they get the track ready, and if we have a significant rainfall, we just go out there, we got a key, we take it and blade roads with it, we bring it back, so we need it when we need it, and they use it when they need it, so it's kind of a shared thing, but it usually stays out there for the summer.
Okay, and I was just wondering how the relationship between the county and the park board work.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we owned it, and you guys own it, why are we even have the say, I guess? I'm just a little lost.
Yeah, I think to clarify his question is why are we leasing it to them rather than just the county leasing it to them?
So-
It's kind of a difference with no distinction because we're both county boards or, both county governing bodies, but I guess,
And I requested that. What happened was they were gonna trade in and not get very much value for that, and I requested it to be assigned for the park board use. And so because they're responsible for the maintenance of all of the facilities, the park facilities, that's where that came in,
Okay,
to
and-
this board.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's.
I'm
Amanda,
really
is there
not
a
concerned
difference there?
about the motor grader. I just was curious about the park board and the county's relationship.
Sure.
Like, I'll talk to Al and just kind of get the lowdown on
yeah.
how it works. Like, I guess that's where I'm a little lost on that.
Amanda, is that something that we should be concerned with on doing it that way? Okay. Okay.
So it's been moved and seconded that we accept this lease. Is there any further discussion? I'll call for question. Roll call vote. Ken? Bernie?
Aye.
Carla?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Jason? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. That is our last agenda item, I believe. Is there any other thing that should come before our board at this time? Anybody? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Yeah. Okay, Neil?
Sorry.
Neil seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Randy.
Thank you.
I suppose I need to
Thanks,
start
Jason.
seconding more things.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Vice chair is
Tough job.
it's like being on the hot seat, buddy.
I'll work on it.
All right.
Sorry, I don't think I closed out the meeting for the park board meeting. I'm sorry, but I will now reopen our actual meeting for the Stark County Commission. We have the county commission portfolios of 2022.
Chairman,
Yes,
Chair Lady,
you can call me chair.
just, for whatever it's worth, I am perfectly happy with the portfolios I currently have. I don't seek anything new, but I do wanna retain what I have, so, and I'm not sure what other commissioners' positions are, and maybe we should ask them.
Okay. As chairman, I will also take over personnel, and I'm going to institute a new portfolio, as all elected officials do have a portfolio, so I will also take on the auditor. Bernie, Commissioner Marsh, you fine?
I'm comfortable with what I have. If
Okay. I guess with mine, if anybody would like on the airport board, it's a non-voting, it's a once-a-month meeting. If someone would like to go to that, otherwise I can. I know the county weed board and weed control, I just put out weed control because that's the same. Commissioner Franchuk, are you fine with all of yours?
I had just one question. I know a few months back, we had some discussion. You said that chair and personnel should not be the same person. What's changed with that?
Well, because you just kept chair and personnel as the chair, so that's what I'm going to do, is take on personnel as the chair also.
I know, but you weren't upset about that. You said it shouldn't be that way, but now you think it's all right?
Yeah, I do think it's all right as chairman. Where's chairwoman?
I think, you know, you take a look at a couple of these portfolios. The sheriff's a good example. There's more than one commissioner on that portfolio. I would think that maybe we should allow Commissioner Franchuk to work with you on personnel, that you're both on there.
We discussed that last year and we decided one commissioner on personnel was good.
Well, we just talked about potentially doing things differently than we did a year ago. I think it's important. I've had a lot of feedback from personnel in the county, and I think it's the most important. We have 102 or 103 employees at this point, and I think they
As chairman, I will just keep personnel. If I feel like I need another commissioner on that, I will ask. But I'm fine with just taking it on right now myself.
I disagree.
You said you're okay with yours?
Yes.
And Neil, excuse me, Commissioner Messer, are you comfortable with the ones that you have had in the past? And
Yes.
And Mr. Franchuk, are you comfortable with what you had in the past?
I am, but like I said, I question the personnel change on that, but apparently there's something's changed with their opinion on that.
I'm just gonna offer a motion that we just keep the portfolio assignments that we've had during the year period 2021, and move forward with the portfolios that we all currently have. That sound like a motion?
The chair gets to go through the portfolios, so I would appreciate if I would just be able to take on personnel and auditor.
Because I've looked at that and I'm wondering, I was asked to do some research on the chair's responsibilities, so I guess I'm kind of wondering where that rule coming from, that the chair makes the final decision on the.
Well, for the last 4 years, that's what's been done, I guess, so.
I don't know, that's, I'm just, like I said, I was asked to see if there was something in the statute or something, nothing nothing that I can see, so that's why I was asking if there's something that can be cited to or.
Last 4 years, the chairman just handed out the portfolios.
That's not true, because last year I was appointed in December because Chairman Kuntz had left. So, well, then I discussed it with all of you and asked what you wanted on it, and we discussed that and went through it, so I wasn't just like shove it down your throat.
Well, who has the authority? Is it the chairperson or is it the commission to do the portfolio assignments? I know it's been a give and take exchange where they reach a consensus, and if we have a consensus on, all the portfolios with the exception of one, where does that go? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm asking the question. If the chairman has the ultimate authority, that's one thing. If the commission has the ultimate authority, then that's the other. So, I know you have a motion on the table.
There's no second, yet, so I'm not sure if we're in discussion, but sounds like we are.
I'll second it.
So,
I think this should be tabled until Amanda looks into it and we look into the responsibilities of the chair and the portfolios and what we've done in the past.
I guess.
Or we can go into vote first.
You kind of caught me off balance a little bit in the sense that I always have had the interpretation that portfolios was something that, commissioners chose to keep or to hand off. I know in the past we've exchanged portfolios with a number of commissioners. I had personnel for 18 years, so, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For a comfort level of us, if everyone would agree to just maintain what they have, for my motion, I think for the time being, for the next year at least, it's workable.
So on personnel, Commissioner Messer, you had said that you want 2 on personnel?
Well, the point I was making was that it is a big portfolio. We've got over 100 employees. And if you absence of the current motion that's on the table, then maybe two people would be appropriate and up for discussion. So, but at this point, we have a motion to deal with first, and then you can deal with that otherwise.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for everybody to keep their portfolios except for the fact that, of course, chair and I was going to take on the auditor. Does anybody want, I'll just keep the,
I have the motion as to keep the portfolios as 2021.
Right.
As they were the same in 2020.
Right. That's what I second.
So is there a portfolio holder for the auditor?
To be the same as what it was in 2021.
There wasn't one.
There's currently not a portfolio holder for the auditor office. Everybody just has finance.
I think we should act on the motion, and if there's a need to point a commissioner as a portfolio holder to another department, that would be business. It's in something to deal with for the next step.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion and a second on the table. Commissioner Zander?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried. Now I would like to bring up the fact of the auditor. Ms. Richards and I did talk, and if it was the chance that I became chair, we did talk, and she had expressed that she would like to have.
I discussed with, excuse me, is it, may I speak?
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
I discussed with Ms. Arthod and some of the other commissioners that I would like to just have a portfolio holder, just to go over like individual auditor budgeting discussions and such. But for my portfolio holder, I would prefer that it be the chair, because whoever the chair is has to sign the majority of the paperwork with my department in general. So I thought that would just be easier on whoever the chair is can have the auditor portfolio.
And so what would change if you have an audit, a portfolio holder? I know that you and I have discussed in the past that, 5 different commissioners might come in and ask you the same question, and instead of a 20-minute explanation, it's 5 20-minute explanations. And I get that, and I appreciate that in the effort of time. On the flip side of that, we're all 5 of us are responsible, and so if it doesn't break the communication and it doesn't break the ability for individuals to come in and have those discussions, or there's two distinct separate conversations, maybe it's not such a bad idea. And I agree that if you're going to assign a portfolio, the natural, at least if you're going to keep it to one, the chair is probably the natural one because of the responsibilities that come with that. But I'd kind of want to know an explanation other than that. So that's just my conversation.
I guess I just looked at it as like this, what I sent out with my employee in that budget line item. I would have liked to just have like one commissioner to discuss the situation, and then when we come to the meeting, they can say this is what's going on. I don't mind explaining it to all the commissioners. It's nice to be able to run stuff by somebody, as far as the biggest thing is budget wise or just opinions, and not necessarily have to try to get a hold of all 5 commissioners for something that doesn't affect all of county business, and it's just the auditor office.
And it's just like the sheriff is elected position, he has portfolio, state's attorney has portfolio, so auditor didn't as an elected position.
Well, and I appreciate that comment. I'm just looking, what's the change? What are we doing different than we did a week ago or a month ago? And I appreciate the singular comment. So that's a distinction. I think the finance thing, as far as budget items, we're all on finance. So I wouldn't want to be excluded from a budgetary conversation and say, well, I've already discussed it with the chair, and they'll bring it at the meeting next week, and then it's new information that you can't process. At least this way you would.
I think I was just more talking about my individual department, not the entire county finance or anything. Just my individual department needs, like as far as where everything is at. Like sometimes it's nice just to have a second opinion on some of the decisions like that are made in my individual department. I guess it's more of just I don't have to have a portfolio holder if it's gonna be an issue in any way. I just thought that, like you said, like the state's attorney and the sheriff's office has one, it would be nice to just discuss some of the auditor stuff with one person instead of 5 with every single thing that is brought up. In just my department, not the county.
Do we have a motion on?
I would ask for a motion that the chair be.
I make a motion that the chair be the portfolio holder for the auditor.
I'll second. Roll call vote. Commissioner Zander?
No.
Commissioner Marsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Messer?
No.
Commissioner Franchek?
No.
Wow, writing's on the wall. Chair votes aye. Motion's fails.
Can I make just one other comment regarding that? Speak. Currently, our auditor, Karen's position, is not elected position, correct? You're appointed, correct? And some of the discussion that I was listening to was referencing being an elected. Your position is elected, but you've been appointed, correct?
I've been appointed into the elected position.
So does that make you an elected person?
I'm under the elected, with the
Okay.
discussion with Amanda, the elected official umbrella then, until the end of the
Okay,
term.
I
Yeah.
apologize then, I was under some other impression, thank you.
All it was for Karen just to be able to have one commissioner to go to for the little things. It wasn't to make any big budget changes. It wasn't any conspiracy. It was just so she had someone to go to, so there would be better communication. On board appointments with everybody in their portfolios, I just think that needs to be reiterated that when we go on to the new ones, that I don't think that they do have, for the ones that do need to re-elect a chair every year. I just think on the portfolios that do have that, I think maybe that should be an option. I know I'm gonna do that with my portfolios.
But
I don't know.
that you're gonna put a chair for each of these various boards?
No, just the ones that already have a chair in place to have a new election.
Oh, got it. Makes sense.
With that,
We have, are you do this? Did you do this one already? We have a couple boards up, so.
where's that one? Maybe it's here, just, maybe, is it, did you put it in late?
It's in your packet. No.
Okay. Okay, we also have the Stark County Board appointments. For the Stark County Zoning Board, everything is okay. Stark County Weed Board, well, I guess the appointments, there's nobody up for.
So when I went through this list of the current boards and term end dates, the ones that are highlighted in yellow are termed. So they're termed or they left, and we need to find somebody or open up the board appointment to replace them. For example, with the county weed board, if the commission chooses to keep whichever commissioner is on the weed board as the weed portfolio, that's why I put that right there. Then just whoever has the weed portfolio would be the commissioner that's on the county weed board.
And that's already been decided, so
That
that's
has
done.
been decided?
Yes.
Okay, and then for the Water Resource District Board, did we determine, Lisa, with Dwayne Erlocker?
That one has not been returned to us with an answer, so I don't know whether he's on or not.
Okay, Dwayne Erlocker is the only one that I'm kind of unsure about, even though his term wasn't up until 2025. I'm pretty sure that he is renewing, but I'm not 100%. On the next page, the commission just renewed the county park board members, so I will update that.
Don't we have
Then
to
we-
officially vote on that though? Because we recommended for the park board.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
probably should, yeah.
Do we have to go
want me to
individual,
just
or
go
do we just go
through 'em?
through them all and then we'll vote?
Well, you're gonna have to do whoever you're electing for the county park board, because that one's up for, you can just approve the county park board one, and then we can go on to the next one.
I'm looking for a motion on the park board to approve Jason Voss and Randy Schwartz.
Madam Chairman, I would move that we appoint Randy Schwartz and Jason Voss as the appointed to the county park board.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, then we have community action that currently Dean is on that board, but that is, was up in January 1st, 2022. I'm assuming, is that under your portfolios, Dean?
Yes,
Okay, so,
serving as treasurer right now there too. So.
oh, okay. So I just need to renew the date. And then the other one, Stark Development Corps. Neil, was that one under your current portfolios? Because
It
that
is.
says you're up for.
It is. Yes.
Okay. And then JDA, this is one that'll have to go through for approval. The ones highlighted are, I'm assuming, you know, are up to, they did all agree to serve another 3-year term. And that's what the JDA got back to me, their correspondence was. So I just need approval to approve the people, Mitzi Ross, Linda Steven, Mary Erlocker, to another 3-year term on the JDA, if the commission.
Madam Chairman, I move to appoint Mitzi Ross, Linda Steve, Mary Erlocker to the Stark County Jobs Development Authority.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay, and then Western Dakota Energy Association, those ones are up term-wise. We had Corey Lee, the county sheriff, and Neil, was that one of your portfolios?
It is.
Okay, so Neil's staying on there. And then Corey Lee, the county sheriff, his term, it's had up in December 31st, 2021.
Madam Chairman, I move that we appoint Corey Lee, County Sheriff, to the West Dakota Energy Association.
You have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, it's proved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay. And then the Housing Authority is the one that we've been having a little bit of issues filling. Currently, there are 2 open positions on the Stark County Housing Authority. They did send over one name recommendation to, that we could reach out to, that she might be interested in that position. But no matter what, we still have another one that needs to be filled. So I guess I would look to the board to just reopen it up for applications. And maybe somebody can select, I don't know if Bernie Marsh or somebody wants to select somebody, and then we can approve them on the next board, but their board meeting here is very shortly, and them being 2 people short is kind of a problem.
I'm gonna be out of town for that meeting too, so.
You're gonna be out of town for that meeting too. So right now, they can't make any decisions right now.
So do you have a name for the one of the 2?
One of the 2, I did receive an email and a recommendation, but they will need to be contacted. I just received it last week, Friday. They just
So-
will need to be called.
So do we need to advertise and open those spots again since you had nobody, or what's? They're open.
They're
Okay.
open.
All right.
So I don't know if the commission has anybody or any, that they maybe suggest, since that at least one of those needs to be filled in the community, if they have somebody they want to bring back forward, but we will definitely have to fill both those spots here.
Whoever is listening or watching, can you explain what the Housing Authority does?
Joetta, do you want to explain it? I know you got the email and.
I posted the position, and basically they go to quarterly meetings and they help provide direction for the Housing Authority. The Housing Authority has different places that people can apply, and then they can get reduced rent at these places. And it does Dunn County and Stark County, and there's a third county too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a time-consuming position at all.
It's quarterly meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just to expand on that a little bit. So there are a number of federal housing programs that are available to residents in our area. And that board would, so for example, you have to set market rents, what the market rent is, so you get involved in that. You do have to, it's part of it's federally funded. A lot of it's federally funded. So you're implementing a federally funded program.
We only have one commissioner on this. Is there another commissioner that wants to take on this portfolio?
Neil, are you
I'd be
volunteering?
happy to do it,
Okay.
because I think Neil and Bernie might have
Enough.
conflict, because you are property,
Yes, I am.
you're in the property rental business.
Yeah.
right?
And
I
I'm
think
familiar
Bernie
with it.
has-
I would just assume
Otherwise,
somebody
it's
else. It's, I would think if you're interested, it's interesting work.
Okay, I mean, I'll do it if need be.
So Commissioner Zander and then Commissioner Marsh will both be on that board?
Commissioner Marsh is already on that board and
Yes.
his term is not up. Yeah, so you would just be filling one of the open spots, then we'd still have the open spot that we can use to either take their recommendation of somebody that was interested or
Okay,
approve that.
we just filled one. Thank you, Commissioner Zander.
Take one for the team.
Roosevelt Custer, Regional Council.
You'll have to do a motion to put him into that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll need a motion to add Commissioner Zander on the Housing Authority for the 5-year term.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
For the Roosevelt Custer, I'm assuming that Dean is staying on there with his portfolio.
Yes.
And then the North Dakota State Fair Association delegate, currently Kurt Freilich, his delegation is up 12/31/2021. So I don't know if the commission wants to reassign that to Kurt or have somebody else.
I know there was talk on that about Holly taking that spot at one time that I thought I heard from Kurt. Did you ever get a hold of Kurt?
I didn't talk to him about that, no.
Okay.
Can we,
Can we just wait till the February meeting and so I can call Kurt and see if he wants Holly to take that spot?
Lisa, did you speak to Kurt about that one? No? Okay, yeah, I think we can check on that.
Okay, we'll put that on the February agenda.
Also on the state fair, there, that was normally went with the Stark County Fair Association. That's the reason I was on there in the first place. So I think Bernie probably should be on that.
That's fine.
And the state delegate or the state fair delegation, that's all related to that, but.
so you're saying the North Dakota State Fair Association delegate would move from Dean to Bernie?
Right.
Do we need a motion? Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Do you need a motion on that?
I will,
And I can change that box that says 10/6/2022, I can change that to state fair portfolio holder, like I did the weed board or the other ones.
I need a motion for the North Dakota State Fair delegate to, for Commissioner Marsh.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
That was all of them.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Anybody from the public?
Did we receive any county weed board apps? Or did they?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
I believe we received one county weed board app,
only one.
or two.
I think there's two.
Two?
Okay. I will get with you so we can do a interview on those. Okay. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.